Colonialism is not rarely satisfied with closing people in its grip. It takes the past of oppressor, distorts, disfigures, and destroys it. Good morning to the respected jury, esteemed opponents, and the very dear audience. I myself am Sona Tha, very grateful to stand in front of you to argue on the crucial topic of colonization. My opponent stated how me and my teammates might not have read the definition of colonization. But I think my opponents didn't even read the topic properly. We're talking about a new, modern, evolved form of colonization, not the past one. My opponent also mentioned how different organizations like the UN or WTO will protect the developing nations. But a few decades ago, the same opponent mentioned how UN is being paid and controlled by the US, and UN has paid the media to bend and twist the words. I'll give you an example of it. When Russia invaded Ukraine, it was the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the Russian war. When Israel invaded Palestine and conducted a genocide there, it was self-defense, but it's not. It was 75 plus years of genocide and ethnic cleansing, marketed as self-defense because the UN and the media was being paid by the US. Now, my opponent also mentioned about this key lock thingy, how the superpowers lend the keys to help the developing countries. But the superpowers will only lend this key in exchange for something else. I'll give you another example. Recently, Ukraine is facing a lot of troubles and going through a lot of hardship. The US told Ukraine that they will only help Ukraine if they get the access to Ukraine's gas. Is that not colonization? They're taking control of something the US owns. I'll give you guys another example of technological dominance. In 2016, allegedly Russian hackers hacked the US election system, which shows that wars today can be fought with bytes and not bombs. We don't need physical bombs. I'll also give you an example, economic sanctions. The US has been sanctioning Iran's economy for decades and crippling its economy without firing a single bullet. A very good example of economic warfare. It's crazy how my worthy opponents can call this globalization when it's just colonization in the name of helping the developing nations. My opponents also mentioned how the MCC was a choice. No, it was not a choice. Nepal didn't have choices. Nepal is a developing country with very limited resources. The MCC, one of MCC's draft states that the MCC will be above than any law governing Nepal. Is that not colonization? That is exactly what colonizers did. As Indians, when they were colonized by the British, this is exactly what they did. They went to help Indians and then took control of the land in exchange of deeds. This is exactly what is happening here, but in a more sophisticated way. One more example I would like to give is how my opponent stated that in a class some students learn fast, some students don't. But the students who don't catch the topic properly don't have to compromise and don't have to give away something in order to learn that. They just do it gradually with time. They don't have to adjust or make deals with a superior power in exchange for help. They don't. While the developing nations have to do that. It's crazy how my opponents think it's globalization when it's not. Because colonization literally means taking control of something. That is exactly what's happening here. And in today's world, colonization might not be happening with bullets or bombs, but the empires remain stronger than ever.